growing up with a dad who was like an international man of mystery, it's always fun to listen to his stories, his history. And this weekend didn't disappoint. When I sat down with my father, he was telling me about the time that Arlen Specter, the DA at the time for Philadelphia, really wanted to unalive him. For you Philly Johns, you remember Arlen Specter, his legacy of infamy in Philadelphia as the DA. Very ambitious man. He went on to become a senator. If it wasn't for a very compassionate judge, my dad probably, I don't know. Anyway, this particular judge, one of the two good judges that my dad encountered, this one particular judge, he put my dad in a witness protection program to save him from this guy, Arlen Specter. Is that crazy? And he ended up even staying with Paul Newman and his wife Joanne Woodward, and just crazy stories. So I was like, what is the likelihood that when I was talking to my daughter, well, she was there listening, but she put some puzzle pieces together, and mathematically this would be impossible, but she has encountered Arlen Specter's son, and apparently his son goes around the city of Philadelphia doing good deeds and just speaking life into people and encouraging people, and she happened to meet him. Okay, quick backstory. My dad, he had a tragic childhood. His mother died when he was really young, and he was then in the care of his grandmother, who was super strict to the point of being absolutely abusive. So he was so precocious. He later tested at genius. He reached out as a child to Eleanor Roosevelt for help, and he wound up in the arms of black nuns in Philadelphia. And I looked up the order of these black nuns, and I went down a really interesting rabbit hole. First of all, it was started by this woman, and I believe she was from Cuba, which is an also interesting connection. But anyway, he went into the care of the Oblate sisters, and they gave him a great education, an elite education, Roman Catholic, and he went on to become a basketball superstar. He could have signed with the Pistons, but he went a different direction. But these nuns, I found out when I was looking into them, another Philadelphian happens to intersect with the Oblate sisters, and that would be Camille Cosby, Bill Cosby's wife. She was educated by the Oblate sisters down in Washington. Another really compassionate group that helped him in his troubles were the Quakers. And I really want to look into the Quakers because I know they do a lot of work when it comes to prison reform and helping people who are being overly punished. And that's the thing about judges and the legal system. Some people are punished severely. And when I talked about the good judge, the, Most High Yah, he is a fair judge, and punishment is going to fit with what people do, their deeds. I just believe that. I know that it's just something I want to explore a little bit more in terms of the good judge. But I thought about these two good judges that intervened in my dad's life, and the Quakers and people like that, and just showed him a lot of compassion. And then to think that Arlen Specter was really after him. And he told me even after he got out of the witness protection program, because that only lasts but so long, that Arlen was back at it trying to put him in the ground again. But Arlen just that whole aspect of Arlen Specter and then my daughter meeting his son. And she also has another friend named Arlen. What is the likelihood of that? Just odd. Oh, and I just want to add that Camille Cosby, or Camille Hanks Cosby, she's just a Philadelphian through marriage. And I'm not really a Philadelphian by birth. I was born in Gary, Indiana. When my dad had to move out to Chicago for his first job out of college, we ended up in Gary. So I was born there but raised in Philly. So anyway, Philly is a funny city where it's only 6 degrees of separation. And I know Will Smith did play in that movie, but it really is true. My parents, they grew up with so many different people that you've probably heard of. My mom went to high school with Patti LaBelle, and they were just really active in social events, parties, and my dad, being a basketball player, just knows a lot of Philadelphians. And I'm going to explore a little more of this Philadelphia history as I continue to research and connect the dots of a lot of different things, because Philadelphia, it is really blowing my mind just how it's helping me to understand the times that we're living in and the origins of our country and our government, because I'm rethinking government. When I think about the book of Isaiah and the verse about the government will be on the shoulders of the Son of God. And in fact, I'll read it. Let me look it up because it's so beautiful. You know that one. I found it. It's from Isaiah 9:6. Let me read it. I love this. Okay. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, with an uppercase G, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. I love it. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm just enjoying just history. And I'll be joining you again with more of my little Philadelphia connections and all of that stuff. And if you have anything to share that'll help me along the way, please do. Thank you.